Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the November 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. But with that being said, let's go and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close the last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take a look at just general what's coming for November. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. Let's see here. Pulling a summary card for, again, what's wrapping up and coming to a close. Sagittarius, we have the card Stretch. Stretch tends to mean that things were a little bit more challenging or a little bit more difficult to accomplish than typical. So though you did get a lot done these last few weeks, it's been more of a stretch to get these things done. Let's go and take a look, though, and see what messages we have here. The first card we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a card of being very confident, being very self-assured. I feel like what I'm hearing here, Sagittarius, is that you knew you were going to be able to get these things done, but again, that doesn't take away from some of the challenges that maybe we were faced with the stretch. But I don't know that there was a lot of doubt or self-doubt at any point in time during these last few weeks. The next card that we have is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is very stagnant. This person's quite literally hanging there by their foot. And this is pretty fitting with the stretch. So in addition to things being a little bit more challenging to get done, in general, they just could have taken a little bit more time. This is like a card of delay, a card of waiting for more information. And then at the bottom here, we have the Empress. The Empress is one of those really good cards that we would like to have anywhere in the deck. The Empress is a card, though, of creation and abundance. So regardless, you are still able to get these things done. You are still able to create. We still created a really abundant environment. Again, it was just perhaps a little bit more challenging than it typically would have been. Let's go ahead and clarify. The Empress can also be a card of fertility or pregnancy, so some of you could have found that out as well. Looking at our clarifiers here, though, the first card that we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of like self-doubt or self-imposed restrictions. When we were talking about the Queen of Wands, we just didn't have that, and that's really unique to see, Sagittarius. I hope that that is energy that you can harness and take forward and move forward with, because it's really easy to doubt ourselves. It's really easy to limit ourselves. But it's like you just knew everything was going to be fine. So again, take that energy with you and carry it forward if possible. The next card that we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a card of having to make a decision. In some cases with the Hangman, there's like a lack of information. So I do think some of you potentially had to make a decision, even though that maybe you didn't have all the information. That very well could have been the stretch. You just kind of had to trust what you know and be confident in your decision. I will say this also feels like a compromise, and that makes sense because if you have to make a decision without all of the information, of course that could feel somewhat like a compromise here with the Two of Swords. Granted, I have no doubt that you did correctly all of these last few weeks, Sagittarius. At the bottom here, we have the Justice card. The Justice card is one of those cards that's always favorable for you. This is a card of win-win solutions, truth coming out. I will say, like, after you made the decision, it feels like you got all the information that you needed. But again, the decision was already made. You were confident in the decision. You did the extra stretch that you needed. So all is well there, Sagittarius. So in general, could have been a challenging last few weeks, but you did a really, really wonderful job. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is just general what's coming for November. We have the card Heat. I like the Heat card. The Heat card is pretty literal, as there's going to be motion, there's going to be movement. When there's movement, there's friction, there's heat. So in general, things are moving for you in November. I would go as potentially as far to say that it could be a little bit busy for you even, but let's see what messages we've got here. The first card we have is the Justice card. We were just talking about the Justice card. So again, this is that favorable energy for you. It's cause and effect. It's going to be like you reaping the benefits because you did this, you're getting this. So I like to see that. This is also a card of truth and getting information that you need. And I like to call out with the Justice card, if you have like a contractual something or other going on, a legal matter, something of the courts, this is an indicator of a favorable outcome for you as well. It's like you're getting what you want, and then we have the Nine of Cups that is also saying you're getting what you want. The Nine of Cups is wishes coming true. So lots and lots of favorable outcomes this month here for you. At the bottom we do have the Ten of Swords, and this is interesting to see because it's like you keep getting what you want, you keep getting what you want, but there is some low energy hanging out here. If you take a look at this card, the sky is dark, the person is laying down flat, and there's a bunch of swords stuck into them. So this is like feeling that you're in a really low place. Maybe you're feeling like you're in a low place now, and then it's going to start trending up with you. Let's clarify though and see what other information I can give you here, Sagittarius. The first clarifier we have is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a card of like Prince or Princess Charming. It's very romantic. It's very proposal-like. This could be... this is an interesting message, but I'm going to throw it out there. Some of you could be going through a divorce, and I do see the favorable outcome through the divorce with you for justice. It doesn't mean you're getting divorced. Again, that's just relevant to those of you that potentially could be going through a divorce. But this could also be a new relationship or a new job opportunity or some sort of new opportunity in general. I know the Knight of Cups is pretty love focused, so definitely the opportunity for some new love coming in for you. But this could be a new proposal of any sort. But regardless, you've worked hard to get to this point. You've worked hard on relationships. You've worked hard on love. You've worked hard in your career, whatever it may be. You've worked hard with the Justice card. Again, that's that cause and effect. You've put in the work, so now you're being rewarded. The next card that we have is the Devil card. The Devil card is a card of greed, envy, materialism, obsession. I will tell you, you don't need to think every day, all day about what you want. That's the message I'm getting here. Let's say you want a new job. You don't have to think about a new job 24/7 to get it. Put in the hard work and let it happen for you. With the Devil card, sometimes this is like hyperthinking or overthinking, and frankly, it's really exhausting if we do that sometimes. So regardless, with the Nine of Cups, your wish is going to come true. It's like you don't need to sink all of your energy into it, and I realize that's easier said than done sometimes. At the bottom here, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is very self-sufficient and very honest. I feel like you've been doing a lot for you, and that could be some of this tiredness that we're feeling with the Ten of Swords. But I would also encourage you that if you are feeling not so good, to communicate it. However, I feel like these low feelings with the Ten of Swords are going to shake out through the month of November. And again, you're going to be receiving what you want. But for now, we're kind of down on it. We're thinking about it a lot. But again, you have the wishes coming true and reaping the benefits of the Justice card. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. Think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, whatever you associate with money. The first card that we have is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of stress, exhaustion, having too many burdens. I feel like you have a lot going on right now. A lot going on right now. A lot of different projects, a lot of things in flight. A lot of them seem to be driven by the end of the year as well. But I like the Ten of Wands because this can be like a warning card. You can use this as a warning that you're getting tired, that you're getting stressed, that you may burn out, and you can start to act accordingly here. I'm going to move on to the next card and then kind of tie the message together of the two here. The next card we have is the Ace of Swords. Anytime we have an ace card, it's a card of newness. With the Ace of Swords, this is new idea, new mental clarity. What I'm going to say here is I think there is going to be something new, but you have to remember you have to put something else down before you can pick something else up. That's really the message that's coming through with these two cards here together. So in order to pick up this new thing, there's something else we need to put down before we can take on the new thing. The next card that we have is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is very solid, practical, wise. We're going into the holiday season. Typically, there's a lot of money spending during that time. Make sure you're making solid, practical, wise decisions. This is a great time for budgeting. So like if you set a holiday budget, stick with the holiday budget. The other thing I want to throw out here about this is a wise investment card, so you could have some new investment opportunities in the month of November, and they seem to be very, very promising with the King of Pentacles there. Let's go and clarify though and see what other messages I can give you. The first card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. This is going to fit really well with what I was just talking about in terms of budgeting. The Queen of Pentacles is extremely resourceful with her resources. So this needs to be you. You need to be resourceful with the resources that you have available. So just keep that in mind. Again, set a budget for the holidays and stick with it. Also, going back to this 10 of Wands where we're stressed and exhausted and have too many burdens, one of your resources is time. One of your resources is energy. And again, you need to use these resources resourcefully. So before we pick something else up, make sure you're putting something else down. The next card that we have is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is typically a love card. It's very romantic. It's a card of partnership, proposal, marriage. I want to hone in on the word proposal though, because this is just the way this is coming through to me is something new is coming through. So again, there's going to be that new opportunity, that new project, that new thing that you're picking up. It's going to be very appealing. You're going to be really happy to see it, but you can't just take it on top of everything else that you have. So make sure that you reprioritize and adjust. At the bottom here, we have the Seven of Cups. I think I already alluded to this, that I do think you're going to have a pretty busy month with the Heat card. The Seven of Cups is busy as well. If you take a look, there's something different in each of these 7 cups. So it's having lots of different options, lots of different things going on. You don't have any empty cups though here, Sagittarius. I'm going to stay on that theme, is making sure that we are putting something down before we pick something else up. And in the note of the King of Pentacles regarding the investment, the Seven of Cups can be kind of non-committal energy. So just be aware of that. So you may be hesitant to commit to this new investment opportunity. Again, with the King of Pentacles, it seems really promising, but the Seven of Cups kind of is that non-committal energy. Okay, let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. Think job, or think children, marriage, friendship, love, babies, whatever you associate with love here. Let's scoot this up just a tiny bit. Okay, the first card that we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a decision that needs to be made. There's some sort of decision as love, again, that needs to be made this month. I will say with the Two of Swords, sometimes this feels like compromise, and in the long run, it doesn't end up being compromise. But just realize there could be some compromise type feelings associated there. The next card that we have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a card of being bold, being powerful, being in a leadership position. I do think some of you could be moving into a leadership position, or perhaps you're already serving in a leadership manner. But this is the courage about making this decision and going forward with this decision. And it's like, again, it may feel like compromise, but deep down you need to know that it's not. At the bottom here, we have the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. This is fresh hope, taking chances, going on that new path, adventure, journey. I will say when we talk about the decision card at the top there, if there is a new path or an old path, I definitely encourage you to go on this new path, go on this new journey. And it's going to be important with the King of Wands that we, of course, have that courage to move forward with this new. But let's clarify and see what other messages I can provide you here. The first card we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting for results, I feel like you could be waiting to make this decision, but the Two of Wands is also a decision card. So no doubt there will be a decision coming in the month of November as it relates to love. So definitely be ready for that decision. But two decision cards on top of each other. So no way around that. The next card that we have is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. This could also be a card of reunions, but I feel like some of you are going to be reflecting on past love situations, having that courage to move forward. I think a lot of you maybe are like getting back into the dating scene, putting yourself back out there, or advancing in a current relationship. Some of you could be going into a new old relationship, so reconnecting, again, that reunion there. I feel like you're like leading this. I know I said leadership earlier, which seems weird for a relationship, but this is like nobody can put you in this situation. You have to take yourself there, if that makes sense. And at the bottom here, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is always so important that we trust our intuition to navigate. But I would definitely go after whatever this new opportunity, this new person, this new relationship, this new opportunity, and trust your intuition to navigate you through with that High Priestess. Okay, now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the card Motion. This is it's interesting. We have the Heat card, which again means things are moving. We have the Motion card, which again means things are moving. So lots and lots of movement this month. Just be aware of that, Sagittarius. But let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. The first card we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry, obstacles, challenges. If you take a look at this card, though, these people are fighting with wands. They're not fighting with swords. So this is more like small bumps in the road, but I do think there's going to be a conflict this month for you. We'll kind of read through the rest of these cards, though. The next card we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is like gossipy, prying eyes. This I feel like is finding out truth that leads to this conflict. So some sort of piece of information comes out that's going to lead to this conflict. At the bottom here we have the Four of Wands. This is a card of family, friends, or reunion. So I would say that this is going to be an issue with a family or friend, or a conflict with a family or friend. With the Four of Wands, though, it is kind of like a finish line or celebration. So I think it will happen in November, but it will be resolved in November. Let me see what other messages I can give you here. The first clarifier we have is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is very fast-paced. If you look at the horse and rider moving very quickly. So it's like this is like going to come out of the blue. It's going to come in really fast. The next card that we have is the Moon card. The Moon card is a card of unforeseen challenges. It's the information that's unknown. So it's very fitting because it's like this information wasn't known and then it's going to come to light with the Page of Swords. And at the bottom here, we have the Ace of Swords. Anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. The Ace of Swords is new clarity and potentially new conflict, which again, this kind of comes out of the blue. But I do think, again, with the Four of Wands, it'll be resolved there. We're going to get the information, we're going to get the clarity, and we're going to get the resolution. Okay, Sagittarius, at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the Four of Clubs. This is number 4 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the Jack of Diamonds. This is number 14 card. That's going to be a yes. And question number 3 is the 5 of Clubs. This is number 33 card. That's also a yes. Look at those. Yes, yes, yes across the board there for you. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck, which is a crystal to keep with you through the month of November. You have Labradorite, which is good for realism. It helps with mediumship if you're interested in that. It really is like the Slayer of Illusions, which is good because we were talking that there could be some missing information or information being found out there. It's great for knowledge, and it's really just in general great for the mind. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your healing note says, today I'm going to let go of my burdens. I'm going to face this day and have faith that everything will get better. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, if you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Sagittarius, and I hope that you have a wonderful November.